So let's get some answers. What do we think? How many whole batches can there be? Luis? 3? Okay, what's the exact amount of batches? Did anyone get the exact amount? Calvin? Okay, let's look at the problem. What do we have? 1 3/8. What's the size of the group that we need for each batch of cupcakes? And then, so the question wants to know how many groups or how many batches we need total, right? So we're taking something, the 1 3/8, and we're dividing it into what size of groups? Yes, Cortera? Okay, 3 2/8. That's really, really close. Let's break it down. So, Cortera, I like what you did with yours because I saw your work. You changed the 1 3/8 into what? 11/8. Because this 1 represents 8/8. 8/8 plus 3/8 is okay. So at this point, I could rewrite this as a multiplication sentence, or I could also think of, hey, wait a minute, what did we talk about yesterday? Every time I have the same denominator, can't I just ignore the denominators and just look at how many groups that I have? Okay, so I can do it that way. This ends up being 11 divided by 3, or 11 thirds. So if I have an improper fraction, how can I change that improper fraction to a mixed number, ZZ? Division. All right, little kids for lunch. Which kids make it into the house first? How many groups of 3 can go into 11? 3. 3 times 3 is 9. The difference between 11 and 9 is? My remainder goes in the numerator. My divisor goes in my denominator. So I can make, rather Molly can make 3 2/3 of a batch. So it's great that we understood that we needed to figure out how many eighths we had total. We did a quick conversion to find out eighths. So we need to figure out what is 11/8 divided by 3/8. Well, we know that since we have the same denominator, we can ignore it. It's the same size units. Anytime you have the same units, they cancel. But did the problem ask for a model? Oh, really?
Yes.
Use a model to support your answer. Now, as long as you understood that we needed to make this mixed number into a improper fraction, that's fine. So now we need to start splitting something into equal sized groups. As long as we have the equal size denominator, we can draw a model pretty easily, okay? So my model would look like this. I need to represent the whole. So there's 1. How many eighths are in the first whole? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I need some more. So I need to model 3/8. How can I model 3/8? How many pieces do I need?
3.
I need 8 to show eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, I know that I have all of the 1. Then how many of these eighths do I need to shade in to show 3/8? 3. Okay. Dividing with fractions, I'm finding out how many groups of my divisor are in the dividend. So if the size of my divisor is 3/8, I need to count by how many eighths? 3. So everyone get your counting fingers ready. Here's 1, 2, 3. That's one batch. Do I still have more I can use? Yes, I still have more strawberries. So how many more eighths do I need to count by?
3.
Why?
It's like you have to have 3 eggs in order to make a batch.
Each batch needs 3/8. The first batch used 3. The second batch is going to use
3.
1, 2, 3. So now I've got another batch. Do I still have more strawberries? So I need to count by how many more eighths?
3.
1, 2, 3. There's another batch. Now I have 2/8 left over. How many batches or how many eighths are in one batch? So it has 2 out of the 3. So this is only 2/3 of that batch. So here's 1, 2, 3 and 2/3 of a batch. What was my quotient over here? 3 and 2/3. So now I've proven it using models. I've proven it using math. If the two meet up together, what's the chances I got the right answer? Are they pretty good?
Yes.
Now I'm going to give you guys the chance to practice this. It says Molly's friend Xavier also has 11/8 cups of strawberries. He needs 3/4 cups of strawberries to make a batch of tarts. How many batches can he make? Draw a model to support your solution. Before you start, I want you to look at something. We have different size denominators. Is there an equivalent fraction with 3/4 where you can make that into eighths?
8?
Yeah.
No, 4. I mean 2.
2 divided by 2.
No 2. No.
So that's your hint. Let's see if we can get there.